Hey, what's going on? David Avellan here with Spencer, and today I'm going to go over what I call the pit sweep. And this is a series that goes off from my flower series, so going from a flower sweep to an arm bar, missed triangle, and then we end up in this position that I call the pit, where we're going to be somewhat side by side with him. It's a little unusual, but it opens up a lot of submissions, particularly leg locks. And it's a pretty unorthodox place that most people are not used to getting into. So let me go ahead and show you how this is going to look like. This is posture up. So let me go ahead and break this down. So when I'm attacking with my flower sweep, right, outside control of the tricep, same side heel will get in the hip, far arm is going to reach, underhook the bend of the knee real tight as I pull myself in. I get in here, boom. I'm using my heel on my left side to start my spin as I keep a good pull on this tricep and bring my head to this knee, boom, right here. Now from here, when I go for my sweep, I'm going to power with my leg right behind his shoulder, boom, right here. So a good resisting opponent, he might have trouble with it. A few things, he might pull the arm out, which is usually, well, this arm here, yeah, like I don't get control of this arm, you yank it out. So now like he can post there, but I might still have this wrist here. And a lot of people go into omoplatas from here, which I like to do as well. But if the guy postures up at the same time as he pulls his arm out, now your omoplata is a little bit far out of reach. So that's when I go into what I call the pit, right? Where if I'm going to dig my foot right into the pit of his armpit, this hand is still controlling his wrist, all right? And if you notice how I'm gripping it, my thumb is pointed into me, so I'm protecting it from yanking it out. And I can even hide it by putting it behind my leg. So, Spencer tries to free that arm. Okay, there's no easy way for him to pull. And plus, I have his arm extended, so it's in a weak position. All right, so if we start from the beginning, from here, and again, flower sweep, he's yanking and posturing. So, right here. He leaves this hand behind, so I grip it, stick my foot in his armpit, and then I can extend it, and keeping a lot of tension on that arm. Okay, and I still have the underhook of the leg. So at this point now, you have a lot of options, and they all depend really on how he's gonna react to this position. Okay, so one of the things that we can do, again, I can do the sweeps like I showed you earlier, and generally what I do with the sweep is that for one of them, I'll pull the arm this way, okay, from here, pull, and as I'm pulling that, I'm also extending my foot, my leg, okay, so I'm here, boom, okay, so that's going to pull him over, and I can just completely sweep him across, here, boom, or bring him through. And you'll notice people fall in a variety of ways. Sometimes they topple over, sometimes they go belly down. Either way, you're going to end up on top. Okay. So again, here, boom. Right, so from this angle, here, and you can notice I could use this leg to create momentum and to help open my hips up. Bring them through. Now once you sweep them, you're going to end up like this here. Okay, where I have this leg. So again, you have options as far as finishing from here. One of them, I can go for a bicep slicer right from here. Okay, really easy, cheap one. All right. I mean, you're not going to get this on most people, but it is there. All right. The key thing for that one, dig the shin bone and have it pointing into the pit of his elbow. So if you see right now how my foot's pointing this way, that's bad positioning. My toe should be pointing down, right there. So now the sharp, thin blade of my shin is right in that pocket of his elbow, okay? So at this point, my hips are now just closing the arm in right there. If your toes are pointing into him, he can take a lot more of it, okay? So, just like any of your joint compressions, or joint separations rather, you want to make sure that you're as deep into that pocket of that elbow as you can. So, toes pointed down in this case, okay? And yeah, you can see it's already real nasty. I just use my hips to finish the job. And I'll just control that wrist just so he doesn't yank out. All right, so that's one option after you do the pit sweep, okay? The other, since I sweep him, I control the leg here, I could jump into the leg lock here. So I'm already on top. Boom, I can start coming in and falling back. Okay. Get into my knee bar. It is there. I can look for the toe hold there, okay? I could just forget about all this, go into side mount, you know, and start with the knee over. So in MMA, I'm in a good crucifix-like position here where I can start smashing. And finally, if you really wanted the omoplata, I'm still in position where I can just roll right here and bring them through. Okay, and I can set it up and clean it up on the way up. So that is one. So that's one possibility that we could do with this. There's actually a few more. Okay, so again, I'm here, boom, I'm in like this. Okay, so I'm lifting him up again here, boom, and maybe he's stepping up on this leg, right? So he's not gonna fall, all right? Because now he's standing. I can look for the leg lock at this point here, all right? This knee will just retract, boom, and come in here. And I'll keep that wrist. I don't let go of it, all right? So I went from the pit position here, draw the leg out, bring this leg over, boom. And I'll keep this wrist tight, because now, with both my legs, okay, I'll sweep him, and it's sort of like an omoplata sweep, okay, where he'll get rolled over, and now his arm is trapped. I'm scoot a little bit here. His arm is trapped under my hip, going to be putting a lot of pressure on him, very uncomfortable. Now I can just finish from here now and get my knee bar. And just like all leg locks, you know, you can segue to a toe hold or heel hook depending on how he twists and turns there. Okay, and so that's going into the leg lock from the pit. And then the final one, I mean here, if he's like this, where he's putting a lot of weight on the right side, so that there's no way like I'm getting any momentum to bring him here, then I'll do the opposite and push him this way, okay? And again, he might fall over, and then I could just take the sweep right here, or I could force the omoplata by jumping my hips in, you know, or if he stays on his feet, okay, I just make some space. Now his leg, once again, is open here. So push him more that way. So from here again, boom, I could come in here. In this case, I sort of squared my hips off, so I might switch, come to the outside, take this. If he turns over, you know, I could play around with my leg locks all day here. Quite a few more things you can do with it, but I don't just want to overload you with stuff. Primarily just play around with that position with the pit sweep and get the basic one, and as you start to use it, you'll notice that there's a lot of different submissions you can go over, like triangles and whatnot, just from that one starting point. And it can also be done outside of the flower sweep. You could do it just from actually from the butterfly guard. You know, done here like this. You know, I could cross wrist drag, boom, and jump in right here. Okay, no problem. So it's actually, again, a lot of ways you can use this if you get creative. All right, so go ahead and give it a shot and let me know what you think.